Hello and welcome back to another YouTube video. My name is Georgia and I am a women's online health and fitness coach. I help women just like you step into their ultimate confidence across all areas of their lives. And if you're not new here, thank you so much for coming back for another video. It honestly feels like it has been a minute since I've sat down and recorded a video. If you guys follow me on Instagram, and if you don't, I'll pop it down below so you can make sure you go and drop me a follow. You will know that I have just got back from Mallorca literally on Friday, and it's now Tuesday when I'm filming this. So hopefully you guys feel like I look a bit more tanned. Did put in a hard graft with the tan while I was away, but even though I've been obviously putting content out, I haven't sat down and actively filmed a video in my office for what feels like ages. So it's definitely nice to be back catching up with you guys, and I wanted to share again even more value today because I want to share one of the things that literally saves my bacon every single week when it comes to my nutrition, and that is meal prep. I want to chat all things meal prep and how I make it as easy as possible. If you know me personally, if you're one of my one-to-one clients, or if you follow me on social media, again, make sure you go and hit that follow button on Instagram, then you will know I'm a big fan of convenience. I am not someone who likes to spend hours in the kitchen, slaving away, making elaborate meals. I don't like to spend hours doing things that I don't need to spend hours doing, basically. And that's not just for nutrition, that's across the whole of my health and fitness. I love training, I love exercise, but I always want to do it in a way that is convenient for me because I believe in having a really nice balance within my life. And I truly believe that as women, we can have it all. We can have the social life, we can have the downtime, we can smash the career, we can smash the health and fitness. And that comes from building a balance, and that comes from not spending hours slaving away in the kitchen when we do not need to. I think there is a common misconception that a lot of people think that in order to have meals that taste good, you have to spend hours cooking, and the reality is that is not it. I am definitely not a plain chicken, rice and veg kind of person. So if you're thinking that, you definitely have got me completely wrong. I love food. I love eating good food. I love eating food that is packed with flavour. And I want to show you how you can make your meal prep literally as easy as possible, because no word of a lie, I spend less than an hour doing this every single week, quite often less than half an hour, and it just makes my life so much easier. So today I thought I would share my top 3 meal prep hacks with you guys that you can literally go and implement today. I'm also going to drop some meal prep ideas in this video as well, so make sure you keep watching to the end so you can implement these this week, nail your nutrition, and not have to spend hours in the kitchen. So let's get into the video. Also, a side note, normally I have a matcha when I film, but today I have a chocolate matcha. This stuff is absolutely insane. My mum had an extra pack at hers and she gave it to me, and it honestly tastes like chocolate milk. It's incredible. Okay, so jumping in first of all with tip number 1. A lot of people say they're going to meal prep, but they don't actually commit to when they're going to do that. And this is why we have this relationship with ourselves where we don't have that much self-trust or self-confidence, because we say we're going to do something and we don't step up to the mark and do it. And that's because you're not laying out the foundations of when you're going to do something, which is why I want to make this the first step. You're going to sit down, look at your week, and set aside a day and a time on that day where you're going to do your meal prep. For me, usually I try and do this on a Friday, but sometimes it's a Saturday or a Sunday, and I will always plan that in advance. It is always a block in my calendar, so I know during that half an hour or that hour, that's when I'm doing my meal prep for the following week. As you do this over time, you'll know how much time you need to set aside as well. So for me, I tend to set around half an hour to an hour aside every single week for that meal prep. But ultimately, getting clear when you're actually going to do something means that you are literally way more likely to actually show up and do it, rather than saying, oh, this week I'll meal prep. Okay, cool. When? It's like making plans with your friends and saying, oh, I'll see you this week. Okay, when? When you make plans with someone, you set a day, you set a time, you set a location, all of those things. Meal prep, exactly the same thing. Then once you've done that, step number 2 is to actually plan out what you're going to prep. So how many times, again, have you said, I'm going to meal prep today, and then you just go walk aimlessly around the supermarket and you don't actually pick up anything that you need, and you come home with a shopping bag full of stuff that you don't really know what to do with it? So again, you're going to sit down, plan out your meals. This literally could take like 5 minutes max, obviously depending on how much you are meal prepping. So for me, I just prep my lunches for the week. I cook my breakfast in the morning. I just have oats, and then dinner I cook from a day to like on a day-to-day basis basically. So I only account for lunches, but even if you were prepping your breakfast as well, decide what you're going to be having. Are you having overnight oats? Are you having a Weetabix cheesecake? Whatever it is. Are you making a protein bagel? And once you've planned out your meals, you're then going to convert that into a shopping list, okay? So a few things that I have been prepping literally on repeat recently that I want to share with you guys because they're honestly so easy, so time efficient, and they taste great. Number one is a chicken sausage tray bake. You need your chicken sausages, veggies of choice. I normally get things like broccoli, courgette, carrots, peppers, onion, whatever I happen to fancy on that week. And then I always pair that with some sweet potato for some extra carbohydrates. And then you literally just chuck it all in the oven. Super simple. Obviously that one takes a little bit longer to cook, but it's a chuck it in, leave it, go and get on with something else, which is the dream. The second thing that I've been loving prepping that I'm actually eating for lunch literally this week is a chili con carne. So simple, so tasty, so easy. And again, I will always pack this out with veggies, so I'll always have at least 2 veggies in my chili as well. So for that, obviously you're grabbing your beef mince, or you could even do it with turkey mince if you wanted to, or corn if you're vegetarian. Then you just need things like your chili seasoning. I always put kidney beans in there for some extra fibre and extra protein, your chopped tomatoes, and then your veggies of choice. So this week, what do I have in mind this week? I think I've got peppers and courgettes. I'm going to commit to peppers and courgettes. But anyway, that's just a chuck it all in the pan situation, and then I'll just cook some rice at the same time. Then the third thing that I have also been cooking on repeat, especially through the summer months, was a Caesar salad. So again, for this, all I would do on my prep day would be cook my chicken and cook some rice to bulk it out with some extra carbs. And then from day to day, all I would do is assemble my salad. I'd have my romaine lettuce, and again, I'd pick a couple of other options veggie-wise. So I think I had anything from beetroot, cucumber, tomato, peppers, onion. I'd pick a couple of things, I chop it all up, I chuck it all in a bowl with the cooked chicken and the cooked rice that I'd already made, and then literally drizzle the dressing on top. So easy, so quick, and so tasty. So make sure that you're taking the time to plan your meals in advance, and then from that plan of what you're going to cook, that's what creates your shopping list. And I hope you found those meal ideas helpful as well. Then when it comes to the actual prepping and cooking, tip number 3 is that I want you to set a timer, which probably sounds really bizarre, but there is statistical, scientific evidence that a task will take as long as you make it take. So if you leave something open-ended and you say, oh, I've got that afternoon to meal prep, you will make it take the afternoon. Whereas if you set yourself a timer for half an hour or an hour, obviously this needs to be realistic with what you're making. But for me, for example, with my chili con carne, I did that within half an hour. So set a timer for half an hour. You've then got that added pressure of your timer ticking away in the corner of the room, so you naturally crack on. This is going to give you more intention when you're prepping, and it means you can get it done quicker and you can get on with your day, which hopefully is a nice feeling. So setting intention with how long you actually want to spend prepping, I think is going to be an absolute game changer, because like I said, if you leave a task open-ended, it's probably going to take you all afternoon, and then you probably will go back to thinking that meal prep needs to take you all afternoon, when in actual fact, hopefully, if this video has taught you anything, it doesn't need to. So in summary, my top 3 tips for nailing your meal prep is number 1, to actually set aside when you're going to do it. Set aside the day, set aside the time, block it out in your calendar, make it an appointment. I always say to my clients, you wouldn't not turn up to your nail appointment. Your nail lady would probably charge you. She'd probably be pretty upset, to be quite honest. This is exactly the same thing. It's just an appointment with yourself, your future self, your health, your fitness, and your goals. Then tip number 2, obviously once you've set aside that day and that time, you're going to plan out what you're going to cook, and from there you're going to create a shopping list. Then tip number 3, when it comes to actually prepping, we're going to set a little bit of a time goal so we can be concise with our meal prep, we can crack on, we can get it done. So set yourself a timer, show up, get it done, and then you don't have to worry about it until next week. And these 3 things are honestly things that I do every single week to make my life so much easier when it comes to my nutrition, because like I said, we're a big fan of convenience around here, because I believe that achieving your goals doesn't have to mean you moving mountains. And if you do want more information about how I work as a coach, and if we would be a good fit to work together, I'll put the link for my one-to-one coaching applications down below this video. I hope you guys found this helpful, and I will see you in the next one.